besides me, so I can tell them. Do cartoons count? I guess. I was attracted to Trixie on Speed Racer. Were you attracted to any other girls? Any real girls? I was attracted to the living doll. She was, I know, a robot lady. My uncle loved that show. He never missed it. Were you really attracted? Well, it was sort of stimulating when he was pushing her buttons, which were
my daughter. It looks like
we are friends in school. All the other kids will admire us for making each other happy and want to be our friends. You think so? Yes, I study these things. I am going to write songs to raise money. I can do that with you. We can use the money to build commercial prisons. How would we do that? Actually, I would potentially be making them hospitals to cure criminality. I discovered that people play false roles to avoid painful thoughts and memories, which would otherwise create physical problems. How did you notice that? Well, everyone does it, including me, but it's my father that I notice has temper tantrums, and he does not know why. I thought your father was nice. Well, he wants to be nice. That's how he behaves around guests and his parents when we visit them. Don't tell my mother that, or she won't like him, or you. She says people are just like their parents. I wouldn't be, because I know these things. And because you have Jesus. Well, my father has Jesus, and it doesn't help him. Where does the false role come in? It becomes whoever he talks to. I realize that is what criminals are doing. Is your father a criminal? No, his father is very religious. He was president of the Greek Orthodox Church, North and South America. Your father is the president of your church. He was raised in an atmosphere of faith and morality. That is who he really is, or wants to be. I'm glad you said that. I can tell my mother you said that. That's why I realized criminals could be cured, because they are the same way. Alright, I will tell them what you said. And I'll tell them you like girls also. I don't like boys. They saw you holding hands with that boy down the street. I didn't know there was such thing as homosexuals, or I would not have done it. He was just my friend. He was only 3 years old, and he wanted to hold my hand. Well, I won't tell them all that, but I'll tell them you like girls. At school, the kids said my father was president of my church. We should ask him where we go when we die.
This is the Noah Library before they remove the steps to make it look more handicapped, accessible.
It won't really be just like that. She said, won't the dead be raised? I said, yes. She said, I don't like that. Well, it's not the way you're picturing it. This science is an illusion. But people can come out of their coffins looking like they were young and healthy. And there is no wait when you die, because when you're dead, no time goes by. So you just close your eyes and open them right away, and you are in a better place. Don't kill yourself. He said, no. God obviously wants us to live, to create things that will be in heaven for us to build on. And we have responsibilities here on earth. This conversation occurred before I accused the principal. The day after I accused him, a man came into the school. It was the man who gave me sodium pentothal originally. He said, we have to ask Arthur some questions. He stooped over and whispered in my ear, you should not make accusations against your school principal, and you're never going to marry your neighbor. He's going to give me, I said, he's going to give me amnesia so I will become a homosexual. He's not a doctor and he wants to inject me with stuff. My teacher, Miss Templeton, said, I'm going to call the police if that's what you intend. He said, you will? We will see. He gave me the shot and kidnapped my teacher. The next morning, I did not want to go to school. I told my mother, you cannot force me to go to school against my will. I have freedom of liberty according to the Declaration of Independence. My mother said she would get arrested and said I had to go to school. The tire on the car was flat. I was relieved. I thought I did not have to go to school that day. My mother said she had an appointment that day and you have to go to school. We will just have to drive it that way to the garage by your school. When we got to the garage, I said, I still don't think it is legal for them to make me go to school. My mother said, well, if they say you can come home instead of going to school,
hotel in East Berkshire, Vermont, where we would go to?
I said yes. When I got to the school,
once in a great
I
while,
went to the vice
my
principal's
grandparents come from
office,
there.
Mr. Diorio. I said, I'm not coming to school anymore. Goodbye. We can't let you leave the school on your own. My mother is right at the gas station. She had me walk here to ask if I can get out of going to school. We cannot let you leave without a letter from a parent, and she did not give you one. I assume because she did not give you permission to leave school. I wanted to speak logically, but I started to cry, and I shouted at the top of my lungs to get it out. Yes, but you cannot force me to stay here against my will. That's kidnapping. They all hate me up there. I realized it was the law to go to school and resolved to myself going to class. Where are you going? The secretary guessed. Where are you going? The vice principal said. The secretary guessed. To class? I said yes. When I opened the door to class, everyone was quiet and at their seats and looking at me with sympathy. I remembered they did not beat me. They loved me. The drug sodium pentothal made me auditory. That is living within your own thoughts. The new teacher appointed a boy to be my friend. He told me, my parents are separated, actually divorced, but the teacher told me not to call it that because some people disapprove. My father is going to visit me tonight. He told me it is easy to make friends. Everyone wishes to be appreciated, so it is only a matter of knowing some good words for them. He is going to start teaching me what those good words are tonight. When he tells me I can teach them to you. His father did not make his appointment with his son, and for a third time, on the third day, I asked if his father came. He said, you only are interested because you want to know what the good words are. He walked away, then came back. Is it alright if I stop being your best friend? I said, you.
I used to go on rock collecting trips with Dr. Nicholas of the University of Bridgeport. He was called the Rock Doc. I studied at the library there for 18 years, but due to I don't spell well, so I didn't enroll in classes.
Never stop being a best friend. Even if you move far away and don't see each other, there are best friends and there are best friends. A best friend you see all the time. Is it alright if I stop being your friend? It's alright if you stop being my best friend, because I have already made 2 new best friends at home. They're the Browns. But don't tell the teacher, she won't pay as much attention to me. Actually, I remembered about the pedophile and that the teacher kept notes for him about everything we said. He said, I know I promised the teacher I would be your friend, and I don't want to disappoint her. Are you going to tell her I stopped being your friend? I said, no. And don't tell the teacher about the Browns. That's all I wanted to know. The teacher was my wife's aunt. I was later to learn. The principal sorcerer's gang rap was that they were related to Mrs. Bush, George Bush Sr.'s mother, and she wanted him to be president, and they were betting he would become president, and it would give them clout to convince people they were related to him. My mother-in-law's mother's adopted mother adopted mother looks exactly like Mrs. Bush, so they kidnapped my wife's aunt, who was my teacher. Julia was in the same class. My teacher announced to the class, knowing I had amnesia, and had asked Julia to marry me when we grew up. Said, Julia is a member of the special Anglican church, and you boys might be interested to know that she has to be pledged to marry someone before the age of 7. So if any of you boys are interested, you can talk to her. I asked her if this was true. She shook her head and said no. I smelled a rat, remembering the pedophile principle. I said this may have something to do with